It's been several months, so I think it's time for an update. Because the last time you guys seen this project, it wasn't looking so good. So let's take a look at how it's been going for the last several months.
You are here because the outside world rejects you.
Let's do it.
Okay, so just a quick recap. This is what her enclosure looked like before. Not too bad looking, just a little small for her. And she was clearly going to be outgrowing this. So I jumped in my car and headed to one of the local reptile shops in my area because I seen that they were having a sale on enclosures. Okay, so then in the last video, this is just me going through the scenario of how I set up the branches in the enclosure. Go back and watch that if you really want to see that in depth. It's kind of a little outdated information a little bit because by the end of all this, I thought that this adhesive that I was using wasn't any good, that it wasn't really going to hold. But ultimately what I found out now after months of using it, that it just took longer to cure than silicone typically does. But, you know, I'm going to talk about that. I'm just going to introduce just a short clip of that here in a moment to...
Okay, so this is the stuff I was using, and as we can see, it does not work. It actually dropped off under just the weight of just a single rod. It fell off. So
all right, so here's what the enclosure looks like now, and we'll just kind of go over what's going on here. So I got the live plants because I love live plants. This guy's in here just for the video. He normally stands out here with these guys. So here we go, just quick overview. The branches, you've seen me do this before, and when I first set this cage up, I did not spray these PVC pipe. I left them just plain white. And the first time she needed to shed, she actually had trouble shedding. So I sprayed it with this textured paint, and her next shed came off perfectly. So that was one thing I changed. The other thing I changed or added was this here, the humidifier. It is it's a teardrop, and it's got a cone shape here, and I just funnel it over, and it drops into the top. As you can clearly see, the combination of that plus this, I put a drip system just that way. It seemed like she triggers onto this a little bit better to find the water when it's like this. Now, before I had this system here, there was a couple times where she looked like she had trouble going to the bathroom. I had to soak her a couple times to get her to actually, pass those bowel, to have that bowel movement. And I suspected it was dehydration because it just seemed to be the first thing to try to dial in. I had this large water dish, but she obviously or apparently was not drinking from it, although I did see her drink from it one time. But I think with her other cage, the height wasn't near as high, so it was easier for her to accidentally find it. So she would drink, so that's why I didn't have a problem in the other setup. This setup is 3 feet tall, and she rarely comes down, past to the second perch. So she, unless she's hanging because she's eating her food. I can show you a video of that shortly. But so anyways, I see where a lot of other keepers have water dishes up high in the cage. They have nice little things that connect onto the perch. I didn't really have that access, so I found this also at that pet store that you seen earlier. Of course, this is for crested geckos, and I like it because it's just held on by magnets, so that way if she gets too crazy and knocks it off, like, it's not really going to break, I suppose, but whatever. Or at least it will hold on better than suction cups. So what I did was it's the simple drip system, and I just have it do a little bit of a drip, just to get her attention. Obviously, she isn't paying attention to it now, but I have seen her shortly after setting this up, she definitely cued in on it and came over, investigated, and then she drank quite a bit of water. So between this and just bumping the humidity with that humidifier. Did I call that a dehumidifier earlier? I don't know if I did. If I did, it's a humidifier. But anyways, and her last bowel movement, which was just a couple days ago, landed in the water dish, and it smelled absolutely awful. So I do believe I got that dialed back in. She's doing pretty good. You can see her colors are looking pretty good. She was facing this way, but I've noticed that sometimes she often turns and faces into the mist. So we'll see. She kind of a little thick here, aren't you? Or is that just from you curled up? But anyways, I do got food for him. It's thawing right now. But anyways, this is the setup. Forest floor, bedding, and a large water dish, some live plants, just because I like the look of live plants. Also aids in helping with humidity as I water them. You know, obviously it helps bring humidity into the setup, along with you know, the humidifier and obviously dripping water here. But yeah, that is the setup. Now she will eventually get into something slightly bigger. This is 18 by 18 by 36. I do want to get her something a little bit bigger, being that she's a female. I do want to get her some more space. If this is a male, I probably would just leave him in this, but being a female, and eventually I want to breed her, and we need a nest box and not room for all that kind of stuff. I'm probably going to get her just the next size up, which I think is the 24 by 24 by 48. That's why I want to get her. Eventually I want to get a male, and this will be the male's cage when he gets to that size. Well, that'll be a venture for another video. I just wanted to give you guys an update of what this looks like, because it's been several months. These perches have been holding on quite strong. No issues whatsoever. And if you don't understand these, this is so we can take the perch out. So, you know, you just slide it in this one, and then it drops down there. So if you need to remove the snake and she's on the perch, if you've ever had to try to remove one, they typically grab on and don't let go. So now you just simply take the perch and her out all at once. Just makes life a little bit easier for the both of us. But yeah, I really like the way this is turned out. Like I said, this guy's just in here just for the fun of this video. Although I do like the way he looks in here, I just don't want him to get crapped on, because that'd be pretty hard to clean off. Anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed the update. I know it took a little bit longer. It was longer than what I anticipated, but I kind of really wanted to make certain that these things were going to work before I kind of said, like, oh yeah, that adhesive I used in the video, that stuff is fine. It worked perfectly fine. It just took took a lot longer than what I thought it would as far as to cure. I think somewhere close to like 3 to 4 days before I actually trusted putting any kind of weight on there to test it. But anyways, thanks for watching. I'll throw in some random clips here to finish out this video. So until next time, later.